Hello again, friends, and you are my friends. Welcome back to Talking Town, the show created for fans by fans of Ipswich Town. And joining me this evening is the medium mogul himself, Matthew Phillips, and Milk Train Man Ben Adams. Looking forward to previewing this weekend's game. Before we get stuck in, don't forget we are partnered with Match Bingo. Remember the word town, all in caps, and Stowmarket Osteopaths. But more on both of those later on. Remember, if you like your town, news, views, fan opinion and more, and there's plenty of that right here on the platform, hit the subscribe button. It's totally free, helps us to grow, and you never miss a show. So why are we not pressing it? Just press the button while you're listening to me right now. If you'd like to go a step further and support the platform that allows us to continue to grow, then please become a member on YouTube. Hit the join button. You get access to more content when we make it. When we make it, I will just caveat that when I make it, and of course to Discord. All right, so another match day is fast approaching. Can Town build off beating West Brom by heading to the capital and taking all 3 points from a QPR side that's currently sitting ninth, 18 points, 5 wins? I should, of course, mention, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, you can leave your voice messages any time of the day, morning, noon or night, before the game, during the game, after the game, to leave your questions, your praises, your pleas from the heart, moans about Mark Hudson. There'll be plenty of those from me, I'm sure. Whatever it might be, you can use our voice messaging service. It's free. You don't need to leave your name or any details, and you can leave your town opinion on that. We are going to be covering Kieran McKenna and the Celtic links a bit later on. We'll cover QPR first before we get to it. Please do leave all your comments in our live chat, as so many of you are doing so far. Mike Baker, for example, evening all, interesting times ahead at ITFC. Never a dull moment being a Town fan. Andy says, let's hope it's a quick decision either way. We'll come back. We'll circle back to Kieran McKenna, possibly leaving to join Celtic. We don't know. It's been linked, one of the bookies' favourites. But we'll come back to it, because we'll kick things off, as we normally do, with our gut meter check. Now, there's been some question marks about the gut meter check. What does it actually mean? Well, quite simply, 1 to 4, defeat, you're not confident whatsoever. 4 to, let's say 6. Oh, no, I don't do 0.5s. Let's do 7. 4 to 7, a draw. 7 or above, you're so confident following West Brom, it's going to be a win. So let's kick it off with you, Ben. Your gut meter. How confident are you heading in to QPR away this Saturday?
5. About 5.
Ooh, okay.
I think. Do you want me to extrapolate, or do you just
yes,
want the
please? Number? Oh no, I want you to give me why.
Our away form is absolutely dire, really, really poor, and I do think we're a team that's still really, really, really struggling at the moment. We're trying to find our identity, just trying to find the right players in the right positions. And QPR are a good team this year. You know, Loftus Road is a hard place to go this year. They're doing all right. They're a solid team. They play through the middle. They can also play their wing backs. They're a great side, but we struggle away, and we're now nearing into November, and we haven't won away yet. And I just can't see it changing for the weekend.
Haven't won away, ole ole. I can't see it quite catching on in the terraces, but you never know. Matt, Ben's given us his reason why. He's gone for a 5. Mike's gone 6, Lynn's gone 8, Asmark's gone 5, Colin's gone 8. Womble says we are a championship super team. And after the thrashing, steady on, thrashing's doing a lot of heavy lifting in this sentence, we gave West Brom, all teams should fear us. So a 4 from Womble. Look at that. He decided the thrashing was doing too much heavy lifting in that. So he did a quick U-turn. Matt, what's your gut meter check for this weekend?
I'm marginally more optimistic than Ben, but by 1 point, I was going to say a 6. On paper, we should win the game, really, but QPR ain't, as they're having a better season than what they've had in previous ones. But if you look at their home form, I think they've had 5 games and they've scored 6 goals at home, so they're not a goal machine particularly. The problem there is neither are we. In fact, we're going into, so it'll be the 1st of November, Saturday. And Ben's right. We haven't won a game away from home. We've not even scored a goal in open play yet away from home. So
wow. You're right.
It's 2 penalties and a corner, which was Dara Shea's goal against Borough. That is a huge concern. And it was a huge concern, really, against West Bromwich Albion as well. But luckily, we just kept, the subs came on and had the impact, and they all combined again as a the Holy Trinity combined for us to get it over the line. But our away form is a real concern. Weirdly, we've missed 25 big chances this season, the top of the table in the Championship for that. So, and in second, the Coventry, who've all missed about 23, yet they've scored 30 odd goals already after a dozen, 13 games or whatever it is. I mean, just shows you the difference, doesn't it? We've not been clinical enough away from home, and that is why we're sitting in mid-table and not next to Coventry in the top 2.
But why haven't we been clinical away from home? What do you put that down to? What's the difference between home and away? What's holding us back, do you think, in terms of being clinical in front of goal away from home?
Well, we just don't, for whatever reason, and it started at Birmingham, see if you agree, Ben, it started at Birmingham, St Andrews, opening day of the season, and that was a bit of a fire pit, wasn't it? And we done well to get a point in that at the end, but we didn't play very well in that game. That's kind of set the marker a little bit, I think. We don't create enough, we overpass. I mean, we did that against Bristol City, didn't we? I mean, ironically, I thought Bristol City was a good point for us, where we overpassed and eventually we get the penalty, and that's how we got a point. And then QPR go there to Ashton Gate, actually get a 2-1 win. So, I mean, I thought it was a good point in isolation. Maybe it wasn't. We just got to show a little bit more cutting edge away from home. Philogene's got to be the Philogene at Portman Road. Can't just keep doing it in half the games. Completely different beast on the road, isn't he? And my eternal thing is the number 9s aren't good enough. Now, whether or not Ivan's going to get the nod on Saturday, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, certainly he seems to have more about him in the box than what George Hurst has got. But then, I'm being harsh on Hurst because he put the ball out to Philogene, who had the shot. Could easily have had an assist against West Brom. Griffiths made a really, really good save. But it's actually, what I'm saying is we're actually not good enough in the final third.
Do you put that down, Ben? Because obviously you had the same complaint, really. You said our away form's been terrible. Matt saying not clinical enough. Mike saying, and Matt saying the number 9s. Do you put it down to the same sort of thing? Is it the changes, the rotation? Because obviously 9 was the magic number on Saturday in terms of changes as well. We'll get to those, what we feel the team's going to be. But what do you put that away form down to? What's not clicking for this club?
Away from home, everything's tighter. Very few teams go away and play as good as they're at home. For all the, Charlton second half aside, we play possession football. We have lots of chances per game, but we need 30 or 40 chances to score a goal. When you're away, you get 6 or 7 chances, which means you have to be clinical. Hurst, it's actually gotten so bad with Hurst. I actually feel sorry for the guy now because he doesn't want to be in the form he's in. But I watched him really closely on the weekend. I think a lot of people were, and that is a man whose confidence is absolutely shot to pieces. And it's not just the fact that he's not scoring; he's not holding up the ball. He's lost 2 yards of pace. Distribution of the ball is really, really poor. I just think he needs a break. It's just not happening for him. And the other side of it is, he's only responsible for 30% of this. That is a bad recruitment in the summer. And I will come back to it until my balls turn blue. We knew Delap was going 4 months before the end of the Premier League season. And everyone was screaming, you need a striker to replace him. And we didn't do it. So you took someone who only ever scored 1 goal every 5 games anyway. And he said, right, you're our main guy. We don't need a striker. We're fine. And we went in last minute for Azon, and he's on the bench most of the time. I feel sorry for Hurst because he got elevated to you are our main guy. He was never a main guy. He's never been the main guy. He's a wonderful support for someone who is. And when you've got your number 10s, your Chaplins, your Broadheads, your Burns scoring 10 goals a season, no one looks at Hurst. No one looks at him, and he'll chip him with a goal every 5 games. And he's fantastic. What a great guy Hurst is. It's all on him now, and we're all guilty of it in different parts of our lives. He got over promoted, and he couldn't stack up to it. And sometimes the fact is you get promoted too high too quickly. And he to that position is like Ipswich to the Premier League. It was too quick, too fast for that responsibility, and he's being punished for it.
Matt, I heard you reaching for the microphone. You must have had a point
you
there.
Could hear that, could you?
I could hear it.
I mean, we've said it before. I totally agree. It's actually unfair on Hurst, isn't it, to say you're now filling the shoes of Delap, who's gone off to Chelsea for 30 million, and you now turn into a striker that you bought for what, a million and a half to get you out of League One, and now you're saying to him, you've got to go and get the goals to get us out of the Championship back into the Premier League again.
It's not fair on him.
It's not. It's really odd. They can't have been able to get the targets they wanted. I mean, we got linked to Latte Laf, who I was a big supporter of, to get him in. I think he'd have been perfect for us. I'm hoping Ivan's going to come good for us, but it took Pablo a while. It's a lazy comparison because they're both Spanish, but it took Pablo a while to get going. I remember him hitting the post at the Riverside Stadium against Borough, 20 odd years ago, whatever it was, and thinking, is he ever going to do anything for Town? He goes on and becomes a bit of a club legend, doesn't he? But yeah, I mean, even the Ivan's signature was a mess. He was in the building. He'd passed he didn't. The rumor was he hadn't passed the medical and gone back to Como, and then suddenly it gets resurrected again, back at the back end of the window. So I mean, that was an odd one, wasn't it?
It's panic.
I mean, look, we don't. We'll get to it in a minute. We don't even know if Akpom is going to be fit. Is he going to be fit for Saturday? I mean, you could see he ain't got Smodics. He's had an operation, so you could see Ivan in the 10. Ironically, Martin, where that Zaragoza fan told you was probably one of his better positions, really.
Potentially. So we've got Boy About Town. Hurst is 50%, but still doing okay. As Mark says, 100% Ben. So much pressure on Hurst. Sid Cup, yes, we do need a striker. Lots of agreement here. The Mustard Man, Nick Muller, is in the building. Welcome in, Nick. Always thought Hurst was more of a second striker, says Nick. James has got a McKenna to Celtic opinion. I will just come back to that when we cover that towards the back end of the show. James, I appreciate you getting involved there. We've got some voice messages coming up. Before we do, Dave, make your weekend a little bit more fun this weekend because we have partners with Match Bingo. Remember the word town, all in caps? Well, you can get a 100% deposit bonus by using that word town, all in caps. The deposit minimum is £10, and while it's bonus cash and can't be withdrawn, the winnings can be. So you get a 100% deposit bonus by using the word town, all in caps, and combine the excitement of live sport with the thrill of bingo. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. Over 18s only. Be the only person this weekend potentially excited that Town have got a corner because it's on your bingo list. That could be the position you find yourselves in. T's and C's apply. Gamble responsibly. Over 18s only. Dan Sparks, there was a moment in the first half where Lee put in a very good cross into the 6-yard box, but Hurst didn't attack that area, standing near the penalty area and lambasted Leaf for a bad cross. All right, we've heard those. Let's have some voice messages. Are we ready, boys?
Yeah, mute me.
Let's do it.
You didn't know? Your ass better call somebody! What's up?
Evening, lads. Bjorn here again. Just thought I'd come on and talk about the West Brom win yesterday. Good bits, bad bits. Let's go bad bits first. George Hurst, my good God in heaven. Can't fault his work ethic. You can't fault his work rate. Really tries hard, but my God, I don't think he could find his arse with both hands at the minute. If you told him to empty a bucket, he couldn't do it with the instructions on the bottom of it. He needs to come on as a sub, build himself back up, get ours on. He's much more of a poacher. He's got all the good attributes and he will start scoring. Really good bits. Jack Taylor understands what forward means. Glorious.
All aboard.
Who would have thought it? Forwards in the midfield. Go on, lad. Egley grew into the game. Really, really good second half, Egley. I think there's a lot to come from that kid. I think he's going to be absolutely mustard for us. Jack Clark coming on, scoring. Brilliant. That cut back across the side of the box, for me, is the best bit of the game because I don't think he's not wanting to shoot there. I genuinely think he's trying to get Egley on the score sheet. Brilliant. Very, very, very grown-up mind for a young footballer. Good result. The first half was like watching paint dry, but grew into the game, got better at it, bang, got the 3 points, that's all we need. It's not how you paint the picture, it's not what the brushes you use, it's how you paint the picture. Right, on we go. QPR, smashed them at the weekend. Christ, we'll be in the playoffs by the time that stops. But hey, up at town, love Talking Town. Show!
Thank you.
Play from Australia here again. Nice 7 p.m. start for us versus versus West Brom on a Saturday.
That early, don't we? What time we're playing?
Which was nice. Not so
Bless him.
nice with the game itself. I found myself shouting at the TV quite a lot. Could have been the beers, I suppose. But I think the good thing to come out of it was we're closer now to finding our starting 11 or our best team, and I think that is by accident. Really, there's only one number 10 for me now, and that is Nunes. Especially with Jack Taylor having quite a good game.
All
you've
aboard!
now got him, Koste, Matasua, the options in the middle. Nunes at 10 with the other two, obviously. And yeah, let's hope things are looking slightly better. Bring on Saturday. Come on to town.
Hi Martin and the boys, Dan Sparks here. Well, we got the win. I think we deserved it on the balance of play, but it's probably not one that's going to live in the memories for the vast majority of fans. However, for me, yesterday was a really, really special day because I got to take my nephew Jackson to his first ever Ipswich game, and he loved every second of it. A little bit about what's been happening. Jackson and my family, we've been through a lot this past year or so with family tragedies. He's been bullied at school and was diagnosed with autism. But I got in contact with the club and explained this, and they were so brilliant. They gave him a gift before the game and invited him to meet the players after the game, which was just superb. The players, all of them, were so warm and really engaging with him as well. And it just capped off a wonderful game day. But back to the game, like I say, we deserved it. Jack Taylor, man of the match. Nunes in the 10. I thought offers something else. Dara looked back on form, but I think maybe the clean sheet is what we need. And sometimes you just got to win these kind of ugly games, and we did that. And, well, we did it. Up the town.
Excellent. Those were your voice messages since Saturday, and it was a real pleasure to meet Dan at the statue with his nephew. And when you hear that, you know, you're reminded, Matt, of just what a wonderful football club that we've got. That is a community-based football club. You know, just lovely to meet Dan and his nephew on Saturday.
Yeah, fantastic. Big shout out, Jackson. Hopefully that be the first of hundreds and hundreds of games that he goes to in his lifetime. Brilliant.
Well, what will stick out to me, Matt, is he was disappointed a little bit. Is he because he wanted a 4-2? And I thought you got to temper those expectations, mate, when you're a Town fan.
Yeah, give it a little bit of time. Towards the end of the season, we might be stacking that up. Yeah, brilliant.
Well, not away from home, according to you two boys.
Well, no. That requires a little bit more work.
And Bjorn in the first call there, Ben, he was he's after your an analogy championship belt, isn't he? He was bringing them out everywhere in that first one. You're on mute, Ben. Hang on. There you go.
Oh, you got me.
I
was thinking about the old car analogies, you know, and I sat there on the weekend, and I think I found one for how we are, right? Really, like brand new Range Rovers, you know, or Bentleys. I mean, like big, expensive, complicated cars, and they're renowned for just breaking down all the time. You get a brand new Range Rover, 26 plate, and it'll be in the shop in 3 months. And it's kind of what we are. We are a bloated, heavy, expensive thing where all the component parts are the best they are at what they do, but you put them all together and it's just too complicated to work, you know. And I think we are like a Range Rover, you know. It's expensive, it looks great. When it works, it's fantastic until it doesn't. And it's often. So far, we are a Range Rover.
Good analogy. You left kicking the tyres in frustration.
Yeah.
Ryan says, without Hurst, though, we wouldn't have got into the Premier League. He is totally out of form, but he can find it again. All right, let's go to 1 to 11. This is not the team we think McKenna will play this Saturday because, in quite true, honest fashion, I haven't got a clue which team McKenna will play. And at Wednesday night, I'm not quite sure. He's not yet wound up the Guinevere lottery machine enough yet. Got to keep putting those balls in, boys. Yeah. It'll be set of balls 3 for the weekend. So I'm not going to ask you which team do you think McKenna will play, because 9 changes, 7 changes, 5 changes, who knows? So it's the team that you will play. This is the team that finished, well, not finished, that started against West Brom. Walton in goal, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Davis, Matasiwa, Taylor, Egley, Smodix, Philogene and Hurst. Now, we already know Sammy Smodix went off injured. We've seen on his Instagram, it's been all over social media, surgery for Sammy today. We wish him nothing but a speedy recovery. Get back soon, Sammy. We miss you. And Outpom went off injured as well. So there could be a position there in the 10. We'll find out more on Outpom, I'd imagine, in the press conference. But even if we don't, perhaps you've been alerted to another player in that position following those 2 injuries. So how many changes are you making, Matthew Phillips? Who are they and why are they?
I'm trying to add it up in my mind now. How many changes? Well, I'm keeping the back 5 the same. So Walton in goal and the same back 4. I think that's going to be the same. Matasiwa will play. Who goes next to Matasiwa? Do you bring back Cahuste or do you keep Taylor? Now, we've all been waxing lyrical about how well Taylor played at Portman Road.
All aboard!
What's it going to be like away from home? And people, myself included, have liked Cahuste's performances at Portman Road. Wasn't that great, I don't think, against Borough. So is there an argument to keep Taylor? Or would you bring Cahuste back in? Certainly, I think, well, we're not going. Let's work on the assumption Smodix is out for X amount of months, whether it's going to be X amount of weeks. Let's say Akpom hasn't got over the ankle injury. So who plays in that 10? That's going to be the critical one. Now, we were talking about how well Nunes played in that role. Would you start him away from home in that role? I think you probably could. I mean, what's the other option? I said it earlier, Ivan. But then you've now not got. If you start Ivan, you've not got a replacement for Hurst, have you? When he eventually gets to 65, 70 minutes and it's time for him to be hauled off. So I think it probably looks like Nunes there. I think we might see McAteer make a return on the right-hand side. Eagles had a little run of games, hasn't he? And McKenna tends to go to McAteer when we're looking to be a little bit more defensive. But as the callers rightly said, he's looked really good, Eagly. And he came into his own a little bit in the last 15, 20 minutes of the West Bromwich Albion game. I mean, that run he did, and I think it was to Nunes, was it? That was fantastic. And Philogene on the left and Hurst up the top. So, yeah, not wholesale changes. That's very not McKenna-like at all, is it?
So you were making, because you're playing Jack Taylor. So you're making...
Well, I'm going to, actually, I will play Taylor. Yeah, I'm going to say that. So I'm actually making two changes. I'm bringing in McAteer on the right-hand side and I'm bringing Nunes in as the 10.
You will play Jack Taylor, damn it. All right. Yeah. I know you said you weren't, but I'm going to make you change your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think he might offer more away from home. I mean, Couste's done okay away from home. Okay hasn't been good enough, as we've seen it up front.
So, same back five. Ben, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that you are going to also go for the same back five and not bring Jacob Greaves back in for Kipre. Am I correct?
Not while there's hair on my balls, Gov.
You want Manscaped for that, mate. 10% off. Use the code TT.
Segue.
I don't even know if that still works. That code.
You're still in the Premier League of podcasting, Gov. We've been demoted this season. Come on, catch up.
The only other question mark across that back five, I guess, is the rotating door at right back. Furlong started against West Brom. Any temptation to make a change there? Maybe bring in...
No, not for me. I like Furlong. I like him. And I think the fans like him because there's not so much expectation on him. You come a 20 million price tag or you suddenly get whacked into a number 9, the expectation goes. I quietly like him. I watched him. He's good, actually. He's good. Yeah. And you don't notice him. And that's a sign of a fucking great right back for me because it means nothing's coming through him. So keep that. So same back five. So Walton, Leaf, Kipre, O'Shea, Furlong. Yeah. Furlong and Leaf as your flying wing backs. I'd have a 3-man midfield. Matasiwa on the left, Jack Taylor on the right, because he gives away from home. QPR are a team that play right through the middle of you when they do play. So Matasiwa, Jack Taylor, and Nunes in front of them in the triangle. Yeah. I then have Jack Clark out on the left because Philogene, I love the guy, but I'm still. The jury is still out for me whether he can do that. He's almost on that cusp of like a luxury, a luxury player that he's either playing a 9 or a 10 out of 10 game, scoring worldies as all over Sky Sports, or he's completely invisible. The times he tends to be invisible are away from home, and at places like Loftus Road, it won't lend itself well to I think what Philogene can do. Jack Taylor, he's on the up. He's really, there's something happening for him, and I love it. So Jack Taylor on the left, Igley on the right, because look, he just had his best game for us. He's a strong player. He's built well. He attacks, and he's solid, and you need that away. And Azon up front. So it's a 3-man midfield with, again, Nunes in the 10. Nunes is a funny one to me. I remember Norwich fans saying it. He'll either do absolute fuck all or he'll be brilliant. And it seems to be what he's doing for us. He does fuck all or he's absolutely fantastic. A bit like Philogene in a way, but just not quite as good. But in a 10, if you're having Jack Clark and Igley in run-ins and you've got wing backs behind you, you have to be able to spot a pass. It's the only way it happens, and that's why I'm putting Nunes in the 10 and Az on, because what's the alternative?
Well, you've
Hurst?
already mentioned, Hurst, you're not high on. So you're both making 2 or 3 changes, which I would much prefer to be the world we're living in, as opposed to 7 or 9. I really do like the idea of Nunes, and I wonder if we've stumbled into it by a complete accident, but what we've stumbled into actually is really quite productive for the reasons you've mentioned, Ben, the vision of Nunes to play a pass. I thought Egley grew into the game a lot more when Nunes was there. And
That
I
run
thought
he done.
Nunes,
Oh, my God.
And I think Nunes plays is a really good, to use an American sports term, point guard. He gets the ball and he's able to put the ball into the feet of Egley, Philogene. He distributes it a lot better in that position than perhaps some other teams do. Because Egley in the first half, Matt, was isolated. I thought he was, wasn't getting a lot of the ball again. Whereas when Nunes came on, was getting an awful lot of the ball. But also away from home, when you're under the pressure, what can he do? He can fall in. He can play as a midfield player. He can form a 3. He can form a tighter triangled 3, and you can be a little bit more compact. And I like both of your thinkings there. Jack Clark, you want to bring in Ben. I like Jack Clark. Matt, you didn't bring him into your side.
What's your stuff? What's your stuff? Presumably same back 5.
Same back 5, because I think Kip Prey brings the best out of O'Shea.
With Furlong on the right as a right back.
With Furlong as a right back. Yeah.
Right.
Mine's very easy. Mine is incredibly, incredibly easy, right? So we're all aboard the Jack Taylor bandwagon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your driver for this evening. Let's go. My one change is literally the 10. Smodic's out, Nunes in. I want to bring in Az on. I could bring in Az. All right, I'll make 2 changes. Az on and Nunes. Yeah, that's my only 2 changes. That's my only 2 changes. I don't know why.
You're keeping Jaden in the side.
Keeping Jaden.
What's your thinking behind that, Jaden?
He's our best player.
He might score a worldie.
He's our best player. He's our best player. And I can't sit here on a Sunday and say, oh, well, why didn't he play Jaden? While Jaden's fit, he should start every game. And then 3 days later say, yeah, I'll probably not play Jaden. I think he's our best player, or certainly he's been our best player in recent weeks. More likely to score, more likely to get a bit of magic out of.
How many goals has Jack Clark got compared to Philly? Philogene's got 5, I think. How many's Jack Clark got? He must be on 5 now.
I want to say 3, but it could.
It's more than that.
Matt is going to look it up for me. But I don't think it's a bad thing to have a player coming off the bench and playing really well and saying, don't forget about me.
Well, that's your Philogene.
5.
Yeah, 5. So he's scored the same amount as Philogene.
Same. Yeah, same.
Yeah, but
Church has got 3.
Well, there you go. Goals don't tell the whole story, do they? There you go. Ben quickly removes that line of questioning. He's going down a different path with it. You could bring Clark in. I wouldn't be against it. Either way, Jack Taylor has to play. His performance for me, it warrants another start. It warrants a second bite at the cherry, a second go and show me that you can do that on a consistent basis. And it isn't just a flash in the pan, if you like.
The trouble is, though, this formation, we might as well be talking about what would it be like to sleep with Margot Robbie. It's fantasy. It's never going to happen because Kieran will never put 3 in midfield ever. Even with Nunes as a 10, arguably.
He might have to with Akpom being potentially.
He will find a way. It doesn't suit his system. He will find a way.
He'll play 2 strikers. Anyway, you can. Colin says Philogene is quality, quite simple. Philogene is quality, simple, banger after banger. Will we finally see a change in formation? Leighton says Egley got the ball more because Davis came off. No, he was getting the ball more before Davis came off. He was certainly growing into the game. I think it was when Nunes came on. All right. That's our 11. Let us know your changes and why in the comments, whether live or on catch up. We'll do. Oh, don't forget, we have got a survivor. We have been playing a survivor. It's the final. Who will take the title? The final is between 2 people. So this is basically just a little bit of a 10-second segment for these 2 people. But if I don't do it now, I will forget. Paul Slater and Bodysuit Guy, you are both in the final. You had a final a couple of weeks ago, and then you both chose the same team. So I've decided to run it back. It's a 2-legged final. So I want your selections again for this weekend. You know who you've chosen already. Get your selections in the comments. Right, moving it on to score prediction this weekend. And if Town score, I want who's going to score the goals for Town before we close with the big news of the week with McKenna and Celtic. Ben, score prediction for this week and who's going to score if Town will score.
1-1.
1-1. Jack Clark.
Yeah.
I know it. I was helping you out there. I knew it. Even on 6. Matt, if you go 1-1 with Jaden, then, you know, evens itself out a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm desperately hoping we could score in. This is a big wish list. We score in open play and win the game. That's asking a lot, isn't it? After our away performances. I think if we can get a draw there and keep our home form up, you know, taking Charlton out of the equation, keep our home form up, that will do us. Whilst we're trying to find our feet away from home, and get a draw there, I think it'll be a decent result. I would like to think that maybe Ivan will come off the bench, will start, or whatever happens with him, he actually breaks the duck and gets a goal, because that could lead to great things. You just don't know, do you? Floodgates could open. Suddenly that solves our number 9 issue.
It does.
You know, you never know what the starting point's going to be of all these things, do you? So hopefully he can do it.
Okay. Dan says 4-2 Town. You want to put a pound on that, Dan, every week. Colin says 1-2 to Ipswich Town. Mabby says 1-0 Town. Nunez to score. Lynn says 2-1 Town.
Free kick.
Banger after. Yeah,
that's all that's missing from Nunez at the moment, isn't it? I mean, look, he's told the Norwich fans. He's waved the flag above his head, and we just need a goal now.
We do. Adi says first away, 2-1 win. And Lynn says 2-1 win. I love it, what a win does to you. Beat West Brom, no matter how you do it, and then the confidence starts to flow back. I love that. All right. What I don't love, perhaps potentially, is this week's news. It's the link of Kieran McKenna to Celtic. Celtic, of course. Let me just lay the scene for you. Celtic.
Watch the comment section blow up.
Well, we welcome your opinions. We welcome your thoughts. We welcome your anythings, really. So obviously, Celtic manager at the time, Brendan Rodgers, resigned this week, leaving the job up for grabs. And Kieran McKenna is bookies' favourite. If he's not bookies' favourite, he's second bookies' favourite. Depends, I think, on where you go. James says he's never been concerned that McKenna would leave us with the previous links, but with Celtic, it's an easy club to win the league. I see him really considering to leave us. Look, quite simply, I said in my very short reaction news video piece I did for YouTube Shorts, I'm a little bit fatigued by the whole will he, won't he, is he, isn't he? It's not the first time this has happened. We've had Brentford, Palace, Chelsea, Man United and Brighton, and now we've got Celtic. It's the 6th time. I'm a little bit fatigued from it. Does it mean I want him to leave? No. Does it mean I want him to go? No. Just means I'm fatigued by the situation, but I want your thoughts. I'll start with you, Ben. Your thoughts on McKenna being the bookies' favourite or second bookies' favourite and the Celtic link. What are your thoughts?
There's obviously something very serious in it, because the biggest bookmaker on the planet is slashed the odds to almost nothing now. If I was McKenna, not me as a fan, I would. You got to win the league and get your first trophy. 80,000 fans every week. Massive worldwide football club. You walk into Champions League football, and it's always a stepping stone to Premier League management, doing well at Chelsea. And things have just gotten a little bit stale. Things have just started to turn a little bit at Town. They're getting a bit apathetic. The reason he didn't go to Brentford or Chelsea or Man U, however real that was, is because we were on the up. We could still have achieved incredible things. That's not how it is now. The apathy set in. We're just trying to find our way. The people have turned a little bit against him, and he let on a little bit. He let on a little bit in the interview as well about being a tough atmosphere. But with Celtic, look, he'll get less money. He'll be paid less. He'll walk out a millionaire. He'll have less of a squad budget to have, but
he won't need
Champions League football.
And he won't need as big of a budget, to be fair, with Celtic in Scotland.
Exactly. And if it came out tomorrow and the club released a statement saying that we've given permission for McKenna to talk to Celtic and it's all been done, I will be sad for what's been. But for some reason, I think maybe now's the right time. He's been a manager for 4 years. In football terms, it's like dog years, man. He's like 90. He's been here a long time. And the question has been the last, couple of months, has he taken us as far as he can take us?
Well, it's
And
interesting.
we don't know. I mean, I'd like to hope not. I love McKenna. I want him to stay. I've got serious questions. I have big criticisms. But if he left, I'd be like, yeah, okay, all right. Kind of feels right.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that because obviously Martin Wheeler mentions here Celtic clearly think more of McKenna than you do, Ben, giving your mystifying outburst last week. There you go.
Mystifying outburst. Which part? Be specific.
Oh, Martin, you got. Oh, there you go. I'll let Martin come back on that. But we are not people that run from our opinions on this platform. We say them, we own them, we're proud. Well, I won't say proud.
Be specific.
Sometimes we're not proud of them. Matt, I'm sure you're always proud of your opinions, Matt. So give us your best one right now. Let me set the scene though a little bit more. Obviously, this comes on the back of McKenna. Potentially, you could be seen as sniping at the crowd Saturday as he left Portman Road with the comments of a difficult place to play football. You can interpret those however you wish to interpret. That's down to individual personality. But that comes on the back of it. Where are you with it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Ben said there. I mean, like Celtic playing a small league, you know, no one outside the old firm has won that division since Alex Ferguson was Aberdeen manager. So, right, that's how far you want to go back, mid-80s. But Celtic is a huge global club. 60,000, as Colin rightly says, in Celtic Park every week. Huge club. As Ben rightly says, you can go straight in. You can go straight in and win silverware. You go straight into playing Champions League football. It's probably the perfect job for him in order to get himself back into the mix of some of the clubs you were talking about earlier, which is mid Premier League or sides that are competing for Europe. So I think there's a good chance he could go. My bet, I mean, if that happens, then so be it. There's nothing any of us can do about it. It's his decision. No. The big question is who replaces him, and how quickly does that happen?
Paul Lambert.
So it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, people are saying in the comments there he's a Celtic fan. I mean, Rodgers is Northern Irishman. So is McKenna. There's an affinity with Ireland, Northern Ireland, etc., Republic of Ireland, with that club. So it seems like a bit of a no-brainer for him, to be honest with you.
And he said the problem with him going to a club of that size is the club and the fan base won't be so forgiving, which is a fair point. But Leighton says gives him European experience as manager too. Hearts are obviously currently 8 points clear, but Hearts have been 8 points clear in the SPL title race recently. Not recent. 6 points. They're still clear, but they have been there before. It doesn't mean they're necessarily
when George Burley was manager, when George was manager of Hearts, I think.
Win the title. Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah. It's a huge club. What's left? The thing is, though, people keep saying the project isn't done here. What's left of the project here? In all honesty,
what is? Yeah,
good question. Good point, isn't it? People are saying that it does feel like we maybe need a bit of a reset. I think probably the project is complete for McKenna at the moment. Sometimes things are just aligning, aren't they? Like we've struggled this season. We go in with such huge aspirations, don't we? Oh, we can win the title, etc. And for whatever reason, we're sitting around in mid-table and we're not playing well away from home and we lose to Charlton 3-0 and everyone's pissed off. Then McKenna gets pissed off after West Bromwich Albion, doesn't come and clap the crowd like he normally does, disappears. Apparently didn't go to the box in the Wolseley fight on Saturday. Who knows? I mean, who knows what's going on, to be honest. We don't know. We can only make assumptions. But it just feels a little bit to me like, you know, as we've said before, it feels a little bit like we're at the end of the book. Yeah. As you rightly said before, Ben, you're coming to the end of the chapter. No, this might be the last page. If it is, it is. We've lost Bobby Robson. We've lost Alf Ramsey. We've lost John Lyle. We've lost George Burley. You know, we reset and we'll go again. We'll find someone really good. We're in a great position financially. And fantastic position for someone.
Individually, on an accomplishments level, you've gone back to back. So you've done back-to-back promotions, tick. You've ended the 16-year win drought against Norwich, tick. Other than other, and I know it's huge. It's a huge thing for football fans. But other than getting the club back to the Premier League, so another promotion, and staying there, that's really currently what you only would view as left of the project. And obviously, as you then stay in the Premier League, other things become achievable, like perhaps a mid-table or a European finish or a cup win or whatever. But on a personal accomplishment, you can kind of sit here and say, if you were Kieran McKenna, I've done it all. I've taken them back to the Premier League for the first time since 2001. I've beaten Norwich for the first time in 16 years. I've got them out of League One. I've done this. We've put them on a financial, setting. We've brought players to the football club. We've rejuvenated. Celtic offers European football a chance to go and win a domestic title at its highest level. And we've seen when managers do well in Celtic, in Scotland, the Premier League top 6, particularly, they don't view it as it's a 1 or 2 teamed league. They view it as he's done well at Celtic or Rangers. He must be really good. He must be ready for this top gig here that we've got. It's interesting. It's the biggest one yet, and I don't know which way it's going to go.
How about a question for you two boys? If you were McKenna right now, and it got offered to you on the plate, would you take it?
I can't answer that because I'm a Town fan, so I can't remove myself
Fair
from
enough.
my
Well,
affinity.
McKenna isn't a Town fan, is he? And I think you.
But if he's a Celtic fan, you could say you could run it.
Yeah.
Is he a Celtic fan? Like, is that confirmed? Is that
his family are, but not? We don't know if he is, but his family is Celtic.
Okay, well, then it's the same thing, then, isn't it? Really, in the sense of you asked me the question, my thought was I'd stay at Town. I'm a Town fan. If I've got family that are fans of the football club, does it sway it for me? I don't know, Matt. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he probably does. I mean, you've always said, haven't you? If someone big comes calling, you're probably gonna go. I mean, like I say, not a very big league, but a huge club.
Yeah,
pretty much in the chat. Well, it's won the European Cup before, and the Lisbon Lions, as Colin will tell you, one of his favourite sides outside of Ipswich. It's just an opportunity that doesn't come along very often, does it? I mean, you saw Gerrard go to Rangers, have an invincible season, then he goes to Aston Villa, struggled a little bit, but he gave him that platform to do that, didn't he? Someone's mentioned Gerrard in the comments.
Look, Kieran McKenna is clearly like hyper ambitious. Right, he's so ambitious.
Yeah,
and these people are talking to people all the time. What happens if he doesn't do well this season and we let him go? When do these opportunities come up for him again, or do they? Yeah, he might get another. He might get another huge championship club. Whatever. He might get something big in maybe another league. But how he might be thinking? I'm sort of. He's my age. He's 40, whatever. He's like, I'm getting big offer after big offer. However real you think some of the others were. How long does this sustain? Because at the moment, the stock at Ipswich is kind of just starting to go a little bit like that. And they go, that's a trajectory. And what happens when that trajectory, if it dips any further, all of a sudden it will be QPR or a Derby or a Swansea offering me jobs rather than Celtic or Brentford or Chelsea or Man U, if that was ever real. So he's got to be thinking, do you strike while the iron's hot and while he still has the reputation?
Yeah.
Because a mid-table finish or 8th or 10th or maybe scraping in the playoffs and we don't win with a squad worth £150 million, you don't get offers like Celtic come through the door anymore.
No, you don't. No, I totally agree with you. And everything you just said there, if you went to another championship club, they're just going to be sideways moves, aren't they? That's not going to fast track you into winning trophies at Hampden Park or titles or playing Ajax in the Champions League or Roma or wherever they've got. You know what I mean? That's
one to watch them.
That's a that's a huge progression and quite a lucky one, I would say as well, given he got us relegated from the Premier League. But still shows you clearly his way of playing or how he does things has obviously grown through the game and people are interested. I mean,
Mike makes a good point there that their record, I think someone said it in the thing, their record signings £12 million. We've done that like 5 times this season already.
That's one case of
McKenna. Are they going to pay £5 million for a release clause for McKenna? And then he wants to build a team on top. So it might be the fact that the release clause is the only thing that stops them coming after McKenna and him saying yes, for the pure fact that they just can't afford him.
Well, £12 million is one Casey McAteer, isn't it? Which is what we spent in the summer. Which is what we spent in the summer. So interesting one.
Yeah.
That could be the stumbling block. But
don't rule out Postecoglou though. I mean, like he went there when no one knew who he was and had great success there. So he'd like to go back to old managers, don't they? Doing it right now. Martin O'Neill's taken over as interim boss, isn't he? So they could go back there, but whether or not they think Postecoglou's a good bet after leaving Spurs, lasting 5 minutes at Forest to go into a job there, I don't know.
Yeah, but you can't hold that situation against him.
No, not really.
And that's how you'd probably, and that's how many fans would probably view it. Don't hold the Nottingham Forest situation against him. But the last time he was a manager, he won a European Cup. This is a successful manager that's been here before and won it.
Trevor has got the ultimate answer. Celtic should go for Paul Lambert. Wow. There you go. All your problems sorted. Still get an Ipswich manager.
Who was our first team coach last season who went to Huddersfield?
Lee Grant.
Just been sacked, didn't he?
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
So
they looked a really good team at the start of the season. I saw them play Orient and Reading. Maybe.
Yeah, they did.
They looked really good, and I was thinking, you know what? If McKenna does go at some point, he could come back to town as that. But now exactly what you said earlier, Ben. Now his stock's fallen, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. Now, where's his next job going to come from?
Exactly. And maybe back in town.
Liam Rosenior for me. But
can he do set pieces? if he can, I might have a job for him.
Well, hang on. Away from home, that's our bread and butter. To quote Hurst, that's what we rely on to score.
Well, penalties we might do.
Actually, when we said it earlier, Ben,
I count the penalties a set piece.
That's the Hurst we need back, isn't it? That one that was kind of growling at the St Andrews crowd and going, "This is what I do." That's what we want back. Hopefully, we will. We get him back, then we'll start scoring goals.
All right, we're done. Time is up. We have played 45 minutes plus a minute additional time. Thank you to our voice messages. Don't forget you can leave those anytime, morning, noon, or night, before the game, during the game, on a Friday, on a Monday, whenever it is, and we'll play them on the next available show. We are partnered with Stowmarket Osteopaths, quality care since 1985. For any osteopath or physiotherapy service needs in Stowmarket, call 01449613633. Freddie's the governor there. Tell him the Gov at Talking Town has sent you. We're back on our match reaction show post QPR, so do join us then live. But until Saturday, unless anything major kicks off, and if of course if it does, we'll be live. But until then, Milkshake Man Ben Adams, media mogul Matt Phillips, you, the wonderful audience at home, thank you for being with me. Take care. God bless. All the best. You've reached the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hit here to subscribe. It's totally free. And hit here for more Talking Town videos. I'll see you on the next one.